Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Rom-Com Love podcast. We're so honored and delighted and joyed to welcome back Kat Davis to our podcast. Yay! Welcome,
Thank
girls. So good to
you.
see you again.
Thank you. So lovely to see you both again. Thank you for having me on, and I'm very excited to chat. Because I've even got my cup ready. I'm being very Canadian in this moment. This is my Hudson's Bay.
Ooh, it's
And so we're like,
beautiful. I
let's
love the
spill the
colors.
tea.
Yes.
hmm
Oh,
This is me
yes.
being a history dork. These are the Queen Anne colors, so they're specific to the fur trade company,
Oh,
Hudson's Bay, just
yes.
went bankrupt like last year and kind of closed down, but Canadian Tire I ended up buying it. So yeah, I've been doing some very like Canadiana buy purchasing lately. I'm like, ooh.
We love
I
it. Canada's our neighbor, so we are all for
Yeah.
it.
yeah, we
We
and
love you
it's
guys too.
the running joke is always because we're in Minnesota that I'll still even everybody says up north for us. And then so I went to
There's up
Vancouver.
north.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I went to
yeah.
Vancouver 2 years ago and I've never called Canada up north, but now I do. So yeah,
Yes, yes.
of
And
course.
Vancouver, you're still fairly low. Like Vancouver's
Yeah.
pretty close to Seattle, and Toronto
Hmm.
is a little, that's like where I am, is a little bit of a cheat because we actually drop down. So I'm actually probably lower
You are
than
lower.
yourselves in Minnesota there.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of going to Toronto about six different times for work, and
Oh
every time
wow.
I have to remind myself that I'm actually going south when
Oh,
I go
dropping
there.
down. Wee.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
yeah, you're like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I know it does throw you, but when you do see a map and it's like that very
Mhm.
straight line right across to the prairies, and then suddenly it's like down, you're like, oh, Toronto's low, and Windsor is basically top like tropical for us. Like that's across from Detroit. I'm like, oh, let's go down like down south. Who needs Miami? We've got Detroit and like Windsor.
Exactly.
Actually, before we move into your movie, we actually were just talking to a friend who's in Detroit, and
Okay.
I had gone to a conference in Detroit, and we literally went down to Windsor for lunch. And she goes, "Oh yeah, we bar hopped all the time because the drinking age was 19 over there." And
Of course, yeah.
I'm like, gosh dang, I'm glad we at least have a few hours between our borders because
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have done well with the temptation that literally you drive through the
Probably, yeah, but it is so funny. Like when I'm not a drinker myself, but like when it was coming up, that we would have a lot of parties that would come up north when I worked in restaurants and stuff, and it's like, yeah, I can legally drink up here. I'm like, right, it's 21 in the States.
Mm-hmm.
They're just such
Yeah.
funny, strange rules. And I think it differs for us province to province. So we are 19 in
Mhm.
Ontario, but I
Okay.
think I should know this. I grew up there in British Columbia, so where Vancouver is. I think it's 18. I might be
Yeah.
wrong, but
Oh,
driving
No.
age is different
okay.
province to province too. It's 16 here, 16 BC, 14 in
Mhm.
Alberta because I guess I think it stems from the farming community. If I'm not drawing too
Mm.
much of a stereotype or anything,
No.
apologies if I am. I think it's because of families that are involved in the farming community. They need to be able to like drive. It's all hands on deck to drive tractors, combine harvesters, things like that when the harvest time comes up. So yeah,
Oh,
No,
14 to drive there.
yeah, no, I've heard that before, and I actually think that is kind of I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a law, but I think it's an unspoken rule down here too. That you're kind
Yeah.
of like 14. There is a difference with like when you want to get your boating license versus
yeah.
a like versus a tractor license and stuff. And I do know that 18 is the drinking age because Kevin McGarry talked about getting Jada Lily Miller her first drink when she turned 18. So that
Oh, okay. Yes, and he's always working in
out
BC
there,
with
yeah.
when
That's
Hope calls. So
interesting. Different provinces. Yeah.
yeah, when calls a heart. No, yeah,
Yes.
Kevin's on when calls a heart. I always
Yes.
I feel so guilty. I'm always getting those two confused. I always have to think before because I have a very good friend that is on when Hope calls,
Oh, and we
the
love that too. We
GAC.
love both.
Oh,
But
Yes.
I
we love
get
both.
them both like the wrong way around. I'm like, yeah, and I know which one I'm thinking about, but I always say the title the wrong way around. So I'm like, when calls the heart, yes,
Yes.
Kevin would know that from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, who is your friend on When Hope Calls?
When Hope calls is Neil Whiteley. He plays
Oh.
yeah, he and I are very good friends. So we
Oh,
met in 2022. I did All Aboard for Love with him, and I'd seen him in the industry before. And I was so excited to work with him because I was like, oh my God, this guy's epic. Like the way he looks, the
Hmm.
performances he's done. I'm just like, I cannot wait to work with Neil. And it was sort of vice versa. So we have like we grab lunch every maybe couple months, every 2 months or so. And we always talk industry. We send each other like, videos on Instagram that are always, about acting industry and how we approach the art and everything. So yeah, it's actually his birthday. I'm gonna do a shout out. It is his birthday, I believe on Sunday. I'm gonna check my phone for that. Sorry,
Oh,
Neil, if I'm announcing to the world your his
The
birthday's on
30th.
Sunday, the 12th. Yeah.
Oh, the
So I'm
12th. Okay.
oh,
gonna be sending him a little happy birthday message too.
oh, we'll have to. We had him on the podcast recently, so we'll have to wish him a happy
Oh,
birthday as well. Yeah,
isn't
we love
he
him.
just lovely? And
Great.
he has such a regality to him that all the roles I'd seen him in before, and we talk about it with the industry, what our hits are. And he plays
Hmm.
like authoritative characters. But in the Hallmark world, he also falls into like uncle territory. And
Hmm.
he I guess he denotes a lot of wisdom in the way he
Hmm.
looks and everything. So yeah, he plays those characters. He's very cheeky on When Hope Calls to get
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
titles right. Plays this very like he always says he's like, I act with a twinkle in my eye. I'm like, yeah, Neil, yeah, you go for it.
Yes.
So, and he's a busy bee. Like he is constantly working and we always chit chat. We've not worked together again yet,
Hmm.
but I have like ideas in my mind about things that maybe I would like to write and produce one day, and he's always sort of there. Like, I've got this one, and I'm like, yeah, you play my uncle, sort of
Yes.
thing. So, yeah, I'd love to work with him again.
Oh, we would love that. Yes, please.
And he
Yeah.
helps
Well,
me with auditions every once in a while too. So,
Oh,
and vice versa. Like, I'll read for him for auditions. So, yeah, I love
oh,
Neil.
amazing. We love hearing who
yeah.
friends in the community, and that's so
Hmm.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Because it
He's
is
so fun.
small. It's a small
Mhm.
community. Like it is a big, vast industry, but we're all in, especially like when you get to the Hallmark genre realm, we're
Mhm.
all connected by like it's not 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's literally they
Yeah.
1 degree. Like I'm like, oh well, for instance, I've never met Kevin, but he's
Mhm.
worked with the actors that I've worked with, so I feel like
Mhm.
we basically already know each other. Or
Yeah.
Absolutely.
maybe
And you know what?
I'd be very touched if you knew
It's
me.
it's just gonna get to the point where you two just keep getting closer and closer, and then all of a sudden you'll have a movie together. We would love that.
Yes.
The two of you.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yes, please.
Oh, that would be great. Let's throw it out there.
We
Manifest
were,
it.
we were just talking before you came on that it's so funny because we always for every guest it seems like we were like, here's our honey-do list, and we're like, we've got no control, but we're just giving you the wish list. And as a honey-do list, because we don't have the authority to go and chat with the people, we can post them on social media, but we're like, here you go. Here's who we'd like to see,
Yes.
all the pairings, and if you could make this role, give a little bit of flair. I go, you know what? It doesn't hurt to put it out in the universe.
You
Make this
never
happen.
know. I mean, they actually, I mean, I don't know the full workings of the people. It's beyond my pay grade for the people that make decision factors
Mhm.
above, but you never know. I mean, if it comes from that the fan base that we're nothing without people like
Mhm.
you and the viewers that continue to love the stories that we bring forward, and studios that trust us to tell the stories. I feel like they are always open to like maybe a little feedback. I don't know. I know I would be curious to see like, okay, what do people like, what would be a good duo, what would be a good,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I would want that kind of insight and feedback myself. But
Oh yeah, 1000%. I mean, you're putting your heart and soul into it. Like I always thought, we do have a movie to discuss, but I always have thought that it's very interesting. Like for me, I was in a room one time with the director who didn't know what the final version of their movie was going to look like because they send their copy and then
yes.
and I just was like, it was totally mind-boggling to me when they were like, yeah, that's different than how I anticipated they were going to go with it. And I'm like, this is literally like to me, you're the top person. And they're like, no, I'm not. That's the network. And so
Hmm.
it's just so interesting to me. Where I mean,
Yeah.
it'd be the hard part of like giving up your little baby and being like, oh, okay, well, you took an interesting turn with that. Yes.
there is an interesting hierarchy, and that's something that I have learned through my experience that um I I'm just a tiny cog in a massive moving wheel, and there are decisions being made far above me that, you know, I don't have any control over. All I can do is continue to do my work and hope that I'm doing the right thing, and therefore, studios continue to say like, yeah, we'd like to work with you. I'd love that. Keep it going.
Absolutely. Well, we're so excited, Kat, to dive into your newest movie, Summer Sparks. And in this movie, you got to co-star with Jesse Metcalfe, which he is iconic and just beautiful. And we've both been fans of his for a long time. So to see you two together was so exciting. Would you just start off sharing? Did you know that Jesse was attached when you took on this role? And was there a favorite thing that you had about working with him?
Yes. So when I got, they don't always tell me with productions who I'm working with. So that's been when I did Unwrapping Christmas, which I think is the last movie I came to chat with
Mhm.
you lovely ladies about. I didn't know who I was cast opposite in terms of gorgeous Nathan Vitter. I didn't know until my costume fitting, and then I'd worked with the team before, so I walked in. I was like, Ray, come on now, who am I cast with? And ironically, Nathan was exactly what I had envisioned for
Mhm.
Bo. So with this, like I put feelers out a couple times. So the offer came through from my agent. She called me. Um, it was Fireside Pictures, who I've worked with before twice. They're an amazing company out of Ottawa. And I knew it was Roku, and then did I ask? I asked her to put feelers out for me and be like, can you find out who I'm working with? Just so that I like to do a reach out beforehand just to get to know them because, I'm like, we're supposed to, sometimes on day one, it can be a very intimate scene that you're filming with someone that's like, oh, hey, I just met you 2 hours ago. Let's fall in love kind of thing. So I like to kind of get to know the human before. And she emailed me and she said Jesse Metcalfe. And I was like, oh, oh. So I was kind of very overwhelmed and like humbled at the same time because I grew up watching him. So I knew
Mhm.
him from John Tucker Must Die. I knew him from Desperate Housewives. I knew him from Dallas, the reboot, because we used to watch like the reruns of Dallas growing up as kids. So I remember one time working in a restaurant and Patrick Duffy walked in. I was like, oh my God, it's Ewing, like, it's Bobby Ewing. No one else in the restaurant really clued in, but I was geeking out. I was like, I used to watch him growing up. So I knew about the reboot coming. And so I knew Jesse was in that. And so I kind of was like, how do I reach out to him? Because if I feel like aside, from Torrance Coombs, those were two actors that I grew up watching.
Mhm.
And so I sort of reached out over Instagram thinking, million followers, I'll probably end up in the junk pile, but whatever. And he replied within an hour or so. And we chatted a little bit on that. Ironically, I saw him on The View the day after, and he was talking about his new skincare line. So I was sending him pictures, being like, I'm watching you on TV. And we met in person. We did a couple meetings before we went into production, and we just both wanted to approach it. It was, Roku, first time both of us working with Roku. And we just wanted to, we're like, let's knock it out of the ballpark and let's bring the best work, the best performances that we can. We would meet up throughout, we'd talk the script, we would, try to, within reason, like provide like a couple of like insights and so forth of our characters. And yeah, it was wonderful working with him. I learned a lot of lessons. We had a lot of heart to hearts. He's a beautiful man to stare at, like quite the specimen that I'm like, I have to share screen time with him. That's just not fair. And I had so many friends when the trailer got released, because I tend to be a little bit, we say in England, stum, like I just kind of keep quiet about things, my, projects in the works. Ooh, exciting. But we had a completely different title for the film during production. I tend to bank a lot of things and then I release behind the scenes stuff when it comes out. Learn that from Netflix. I'm like, don't send stuff out beforehand. So when the trailer first came out, I had some friends watching it. The number of messages I had saying he was my high school crush. I was like, never mind, I'm in the movie. Everyone was sort of like Jesse Metcalfe, but that was me too. I'm like, how am I in terms of the resume and the caliber of career that he's had? It was very surreal for me to be like, oh, I'm number two on a call sheet. He's number one. Like the fact that I'm even at the levels sharing screen time with him was really very like pinch yourself in the moment.
Hmm.
But he's lovely and he's very grounded. He's deep thinker. So we would talk a lot about life and I would drag him to farmers markets and stuff on our days off and everything. And I just chat and get to know like, yeah, who Jesse is. And he wanted to know like, yeah, who I was. We just had a lot of fun. And there's the bit too much fun maybe. We got in trouble here and there when we're filming because we end up, there was a prop camera, and so we would kind of end up taking photos of each other, like, they're doing setup and we're like in this camera. Heaven knows how many pictures ended up in the props department in that way.
We got to see those. Of course.
I popped a few on Instagram
Oh,
of us
yay.
like messing around with vegetables and stuff like that. But yeah, no doubt they had a chock load of pictures and stuff from videos of us messing around in between takes and stuff.
Oh, so fun. Oh my goodness.
So, I actually had mentioned to Brennan because he was the number one, and it's very interesting in these rom-com genres and stuff like that. Usually the woman is the number one. So
Hmm.
that's why we were curious if you knew he was attached, or because we assumed he had been attached from the beginning based on that. But
He
once
was,
again,
but they just don't keep me in the loop.
yeah.
It's just like they know, like the decisions like, again are being made above.
Hmm.
They just don't tell me. So it's either like someone that I know within the production tells me,
Hmm.
or I've gotten into the habit of asking my agent to find out because
Yeah.
because it gets down to like, oh, we're gonna be filming soon. I'm like, I have no idea who I'm working with, but it would be great to
Yeah.
meet them or get to know them beforehand. So yeah, it
Yeah.
depends
Yeah.
on the production. But yeah, he would have been attached early, because
Hmm.
it's Jesse Metcalfe,
Yeah.
eyes, people know him, he's the notoriety that he has within the industry.
Hmm.
He would have been, yeah, attached, and then little me ended up getting attached as well. But yeah, he was number one on that one because it is more the movie is centric about his relationship with his son in the film as well. So romance kind of takes a second seat to this film. It's more about like family connection and, second chances and rebuilding family memories and moments together
Mm,
on camera.
mm,
So
amazing.
what was it about this one that drew you to it then originally?
I loved so Fireside Pictures is a big one for me because I love that production company. They're an amazing team. Unwrapping Christmas was the same collection of crew. And also, I loved the ensemble nature of the project as well. The fact that it wasn't centric on the romance side of things, that the story involved two different families coming together with their own struggles and their own things to overcome. And the fact that throughout the movie, both Jesse's character and mine rely on each other for advice, but it also goes to there's advice flying left, right, and center, I feel, from all of the different characters, all the five main characters of myself, Jesse, and our kids. And I feel that the movie and well, the script itself was just it was deeper in terms of like, oh, you need to learn to let go. Every character had its own journey to overcome. And I feel that all of the characters did, learn their lessons along the way towards the betterment of their lives and relationships. And I did like the fact that there was a friendship that turned into romance and
Mm,
that there was the family dynamic as well.
yes,
That was different.
of course. That's one of our favorite, I guess, romance tropes is the
Yeah.
friends to more than
Hmm.
friends.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You could say that
Confidants.
we're Hallmark After Dark friends to lovers.
Friends to lovers. Yes.
We are embracing our after darkness going forward.
Yes. I do
We
love the enemies one though as well, like that enemies
yeah.
trope when it's like the
Yes.
misunderstanding happens straight away. It's like the Elizabeth Bennet and Mr.
Mhm.
Darcy, and then you
Yes.
know, I do enjoy that trope as well. I don't know if I've played that very often. A couple times I've played that trope, but yeah,
Sure. I think
the
my
friends to lovers is a sweet one as well.
It's sweet, but I agree with you with the frenemies, especially. It just gives you that the friends to lovers gives you that banter that you because you're had those feelings so under the surface in a different way than you do with the friends
Yeah,
going forward. So
I
yeah.
I think there's a lot of chance for comedy gold in the enemies to lovers
Mhm.
because I got to do it's supposed to be out this Christmas, but I got to do a movie called The Christmas Clues with Jonathan Stoddard, and that was we were actually supposed to be exes that end up back being stuck together figuring out this challenge, and then we end up not giving it away, reconciling at the end. But there was so much comedy gold in the script of like little side glances or like,
Mm.
Mhm.
one-upping each other. And that's really fun to play as an actor, especially with someone like Jonathan, who was very open-hearted to and very receptive of anything that I gave him and take to take it was always different and we could kind of push it a little bit further or it just gives the editor a lot of choices I think at the end and
Mhm.
so I do enjoy that trope playing it because it's fun as an actor to explore that.
Of course. That one and two, that one is where you can really kind of feel the just the tension and the passion. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, I could cut this with a knife. Like just
Yeah.
So are they gonna kiss or are they gonna slap each other? Like it gets down to that moment where you're like, ooh, it's kind
yes,
of tingling would be
yes,
that. And you can
Yeah.
yeah,
almost be like you can imagine scenarios where you're like face to face and it's like, oh, are they gonna kiss? Or are they gonna, what's gonna happen?
yes,
That's fun to play as well, because as an actor, it's like you don't know. You are slightly
Mhm.
vulnerable to the person in front of you. And we have a script, but we also are humans reacting off of each other in a moment too. So
yeah,
it's fun.
absolutely. It's that kiss and makeup moment. Like, all right,
Yes.
just go for it.
Yeah.
Well, Kat, you also, your character is a mom in this movie, and you got to work with two beautiful kids. Was this your first time playing a parent, and what was it like working with the kids?
So I'm a big kid myself. I guess my immaturity starts to show when I'm working on a set. The fact that I feel I can wake up every day and I've got that enthusiasm. I've had other actors make comments on it before, and I'm like, well, I'm doing what I love doing. And
Mhm.
so if that brings out that kind of youthful energy in me, I'm like, I think that means that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So this isn't the first time I've played a mum. I've played a mum a couple times. I've said in a couple of interviews that I'm in slight denial about having to play a mum. I'm like, no, I'm not old enough. What do you mean? I technically am. But this one, it was, I have two kids, so that was something that was different. And this was, I believe, the first time I've had a teenager,
Mm.
or teenage kids. And the thing that throws me is Takaya Green, that plays my daughter, is actually 23. So we were like big sis, little sis sort of energy. And I felt that she's this gorgeous human and she's got such a career ahead of her. Um,
Mhm.
I felt that I was able to kind of do a mentorship for her because it was her first project away from home. And I just wanted to take her under my wing. And Jesse was the same actually with Max, who plays Ben, his son in the film as well. There was sort of like this mentorship that we ended up having, and nothing to do with for me Takaya's talent. Her talent is there. She's naturally such a good actress. It was like learning the tricks of the trade and the business side of show business and things that I have learned from generous actors that have given me that advice. I was like, this is my time to pay it back. So
Mhm.
it was so much fun. We had lots of laughs in between takes. Lucien that plays Noah, my son, who goes by Lou in real life, is just he's just a gem. He would make me laugh so much on set because he's such a character. He has so much wit, and he can turn around any kind of I don't want to say it's an insult, but you say something to him, and he's like straight back with a retort, and you're like, oh, like I'm getting old. I gotta catch up. There's these youthful kids nowadays. They're fast. They're on it. And even on days off from camera, we went to Jesse couldn't come, but Max, who plays Ben, myself, Takaya, and Lou, we went to this kind of like Halloween fest that's sort of held at this farm, and they have all these kind of different themed walk around areas and scare houses. And I do not like scary things. I don't like scary movies or anything. So me and Lou were the scaredy cats, throughout. Takaya will just walk straight through, and I would walk through holding her bag, and huddled behind her, very brave. And yeah, we just had a lot of fun. Like Max was like crazy. He was immune to any kind of jump scare. He was walking through being like, I can see you. I can see you to all the actors that are supposed to jump out at you. So I was like, good, yeah, Max, you walk ahead, get all the jump scares. Scare
Perfect.
him.
Tell me what's coming. Yeah.
And then I'm at the back, hiding behind, my 23-year-old daughter,
That would
Takaya,
be
and
me,
then
girl.
behind is Lou with his mum,
Oh,
screaming with his ears plugged and stuff. So we were both, yeah, big scaredy cats. But it was so much fun working with them.
oh, so fun.
So we have a haunted house at our state fair that is actually like really well done to the point
Yes.
where I'm with you. I kept going in there, be like, I'm not gonna do it, I'm not gonna do it. Finally, I got talked into by like my sister or somebody, and I had to have a worker. I was like, because I couldn't turn around. That thankfully some wonderful worker who was dressed in costume and let me know they were dressed in costume because it's pitch black. She's like, I'm dressed in costume, but I'll walk you through. And she goes, duck here, do this. And I was like, I
Oh
am
my
never
goodness.
going into a haunted house again.
No, they did a
Oh.
couple that were really brilliant. One was a hayride. And so you're
Mm.
driving around, it's probably like 2, 3 kilometer track around this farm, and they have these different themed areas, and these actors would come running out of you with chainsaws. Of course, like the
Mhm.
chainsaws are disengaged, there's no
Yeah.
chain on it, but the noise is still coming flying at you, and they're like, "Meow, meow, meow," and we're at the back of the thing going, I went on it twice. That was great fun. But they also had a haunted house that was clown themed, and I don't
Oh,
like clowns.
oh, no, no,
And
no,
it
no.
had walls that would collapse on you, and it was very sensory. Like things would come flying at you, and you get stuck in like a mop sort of scenario. And I just hung on to Takaya the whole time because I don't like clowns. But I did all of them. I did do all of the different haunted houses. I had no voice by the end. I was like, good thing we're not filming tomorrow. I have a day to recover with tea, lemon, and honey, and then I'll go back to set on Monday or whatever.
Oh,
Well, you're
that would
brave
be that
enough.
would be me. All three of us would be like, just
I don't like it.
don't
Like,
scare us.
I'm too old for this. I'm not
Exactly.
a
I think
child.
once you really start learning about how the body works and anxiety and tension and stuff, I'm like,
Oh,
I'm good. I'm not going to put myself through it.
No.
no, no.
Oh,
I've got
Yeah.
like a one of those rings. Like this is called like a ring con, and it tracks stress and anxiety level. I was like, it probably peaks in boundaries on that day, like
oh,
well high stress, I'm sure.
oh,
It sets me, I'm like, oh, I don't like it, I don't like it, I don't like it. So at least I
no.
know that about myself. I don't subject
Yeah.
myself to things, without a bit of peer pressure from, a 23-year-old, 14-year-old being like, come on, go in. Darn.
So I actually had mentioned. So is it true for Takaya that this was her third movie? So like you said, she was very new into the industry. Had she done anything before? Because I mentioned to Brennan when I was watching it, I said, I go, she has a future. Like she nailed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
And
she has
yeah,
done I'm forgetting the name. For some reason, Son of a Preacher Man is coming to my head, but I don't think that is the name of the
I
film.
think it's Son
She
of a Preacher,
Oh, it
or
is.
maybe
Okay.
yeah.
Son of a Preacher Man, sorry, is the song. I think
Okay.
it was, yeah, a play on the song. And so she filmed that. She told me she filmed that in, I think, March of last year. And so she's done some commercials and she's done background work. So she's very like, experienced in terms of understanding like lingo and everything that happens on set. But yeah, this would have been her next larger role of being like a number 3, 4 on the call sheet sort of thing.
Oh, that's
So yeah.
exciting. Can't wait to see what's next for her.
Yeah,
So
it's almost like an ease sometimes I feel
yeah.
like I would watch Jesse on camera because I'm always trying to learn like tricks of the trade whenever I'm working. And there were, I think it was day three or so of filming, and he was doing some scenes with Max. And I was sitting by one of the Roku executives that was in and watching on the monitor. And it was an emotional scene for Jesse, and just his eyes, and he's so seasoned. There is like just this gorgeous ease and confidence that he has, and he's got a beautiful voice. Like hearing his voice both in the movie but then on set every day, delightful. And so I would watch him, and there's a star quality that he has, and I understand why he's had the career and the
Mm.
longevity. You know, my sister's like, he has stayed relevant, you know, from John Tucker Must Die days, you know, like
Yeah.
not everyone has that opportunity to stay so relevant and at the forefront and working. He
Mhm.
works, right? You know, so that's a credit to him with his work ethic and his experience and the talent that he brings as well. So I learned a lot from watching him. I'm like, oh, okay, that yes, stillness, this, that, you know, tricks. Always learning.
Like, yeah, Jesse, keep going, keep going.
Yeah, I was like watching the scene going like and then there was another fun scene where I was able to watch him work, and it's a really cute little moment where it's kind of an homage to Western movies, which you would know if you've seen the film, where we are in a bit of a face-off, and remember watching him filming. They were filming kind of a close-up for him on that, very close-up actually, because I think it's just like chin to forehead. And I remember watching, and it's just like, you know, it's just it's beautiful features. And then I was like, oh, great. Now I have to follow that. Like, yeah, I've got to do that shot, but in reverse, and it's me. Like, oh, gosh, I can't match that.
Yes, you can,
You can,
Catherine.
girl.
Yeah,
I
you
look,
can.
I looked a bit
Absolutely.
manic. I was like, I
Can.
guess I'm supposed to. Well, we're competing, so I thought I looked a bit manic. But he like just the very tiny little motion of him just like slightly squinting his eyes. I was like, oh, it tells 1,000 words on camera.
Mhm.
So yeah, he's a feast to watch work because I'm like, ah, tricks. Ah, okay. You do that? Noted.
Well,
Well,
oh,
oh, go
sorry.
ahead, Catherine. I'm sorry. No, you go ahead.
No, no, I was gonna say you said that the movie, speaking of like all the looks and stuff like that, so Summer Sparks is what it ended up being called. What were
Mm,
what was it when you were in production?
the campfire cook-off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
no, and I thought and that was the other note I had was Summer Sparks was actually really like appropriate because you had the sparks between, will they,
Hmm.
won't they? You had a girlfriend frenemy storyline going on, so there's sparks
Hmm.
there. There's the campfire. I mean, like
Yes.
the kids,
Slightly
there's
after 4th of July release as well, which I was like, okay, you
yeah.
know, where we're going with that. I think it was, yeah, a great choice for when did I learn about that? I think I learned in February that it was called that. And only because
Mm,
I was going in for like my ADR like voiceover session, and it said
mhm.
Summer Sparks, and I was like, what's that? Oh, okay. Oh, so it's not called Campfire Cook-Off anymore because it also gets abbreviated during, uh,
Mm,
for ease of production and stuff. So it would be like, I think it was called CFCC. So when
mm.
emails come through, I'm like, oh, Campfire Cook-Off. It's just
Mm.
abbreviated. So when it suddenly said like Summer Sparks, I'm like, did I do a summer film that I don't know about?
You're like,
Oh, it's
I
the
forgot about this
Campfire.
one.
Oh, they changed the name. Okay.
No,
So
and
yeah.
we had young first love sparks too. So yeah, it was
Mhm.
well done for whoever named it because it was
Yes.
so appropriate. So I was just curious for I don't think we missed any of the sparks. I think that covers them all. But what is it for you? We talked about the enemies to lovers in the romantic sense, but when you get that opportunity to play that girlfriend frenemies kind of role,
Mm.
how fun is that for you to be able just to bounce off and play?
Oh, so much fun. Yeah, I really enjoy exploring with acting partners. I feel that so this goes back to kind of theory of acting and how what I think it is, and it's different for every person because I mean that's why there's so many different acting methods. I find with TV film work, acting is a lot more reacting. Of course, I show up, I know my lines, I'm making choices that I think are within the realm of my character. But I'm also always open to what the actor in front of me does. And I kind of, with TV film, it's not like theater where you have to keep the energy going and bouncing. And I used to, when I was at theater school, we had this lovely teacher called Rafał Sokolowski, and he always used to be like, you know, you have to keep it going, the momentum, bounce, bounce, bounce. So it's a lot more, you have to be a lot more on top of each other for the activity of the lines to in order to keep the audience engaged and keep the thesis or the fight going in the work. With TV film, you can have like ever so slightly a delay where if I'm working with an actor, say like Olivier Renault, and I try something on him, and then I can see him interpret it, and then he's like, okay, well, I'm going to try this. So there's sort of with that frenemies realm to play in, there's a scope of what you can explore and play within with it as an actor, which gives the editors more choice, I think, at the end of the day, but it's also a lot more fun to explore because if I'm like, oh, that didn't quite, I'm gonna try something different this next take and and see. And that's how I've approached the work. Um I've never been told otherwise. To get it absolutely the same every single time. Of course, I never get my blocking. My blocking is always maintains the same thing, continuity in that way. But performance, I kind of leave it always to try something different each time, every single setup, every single take. So I'm playing within a realm, which makes it easier for an editor to kind of cut and slice together. But it also makes it's more dynamic for me to play. It's fun for me to play. Yeah, I enjoy those feisty characters. They get to come up every so often.
Yeah.
I think like maybe I'm a little bit like that. I think if I look for a literary character, I associate a lot with Elizabeth Bennet, and so it's fun to play those kinds of characters where you're like, I can put my obstinate chin, my mum says, and go like, well, whatever. Doesn't
Yes.
matter to me. That's a really fun character for me to play.
Yes. That's a fun character to watch too, because they always
Mhm.
always keep you guessing. You just want to know what are they thinking? What are they going to do next? And
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are really fun. But then again, those that hopeless romantic is lovely to play too, especially opposite like a gorgeous co-star and so forth. There's just so many beautiful tropes that we get to explore in this genre. And so, yeah, anytime I get the chance to explore any one of those, I feel very, very lucky, very fortunate.
yeah. Yeah. And that's something so special about the rom-com genre, like you were just saying, because for actors that just do scary or horror, they're kind of locked in to that. But in rom-coms, like you were saying, you have all these tropes and just all these different possibilities that can all eventually lead to romance, but
Mhm.
it's so fun that there's just so many different types of characters and personalities to play within.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have there's a formula, but I feel that a lot of the what defines movies from being different from one another, if we are, say, exploring that frenemies territory where it's like, oh, they're, you know, the lead male and lead female are enemies to start with, but they reconcile at the end.
Mhm.
It's you're always working with a different actor that comes from a different experience, a different approach to the work. They're pulling from their own lived experience, their own imagination, and our imaginations are as vast as we want them to be. So that's really I think what defines movies as being different, even though we always follow the formula and we know they're inevitable, we know how they're going to end. It's the journey along the way of a different human reacting off of each other. And yeah, that's one of the elements of movie making that I enjoy the most is connecting with the human opposite me and allowing them to change me, change the character, affect me, and I like affecting them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, where was this movie filmed? Was it, you mentioned a farm earlier. Was it at an actual camp? Was it on a farm and they built the set?
No, so we had a few different locations that were playing the one campfire, or Camp Evergreen. Sorry, not campfire, Camp Evergreen. We filmed it in Ottawa, so capital of Canada, or
Mhm.
Ottawa, for my North American listeners that don't always understand my accent. So it's a beautiful place. Ottawa really does. I've done about 7 movies there.
Mm.
It's a very dynamic place, amazing production companies that work out of there as well. So, and nature is just on the doorstep. So we were filming more to the east and south. I'm trying to do my geography. Yes, east and south of the city itself. So Jesse and I and most of the cast were staying in the city, and then we would drive out. And a couple of the venues were one was a wedding venue.
Oh, wow.
One actually had cabins, so the cabins that Jesse and I were in are actually real cabins.
Oh,
So they had those. So what you see on like that lake front is in actuality that cabin. We filmed in a provincial, like a conservation area, so it's like a provincial park. Sorry, I feel like my lighting is getting so. I don't know what is going on in Toronto, but we have a huge thunderstorm about to hit. I think
oh,
it's
that's
very humid here.
we had one last night, I think, didn't we, Catherine?
It's probably the same one. You headed my way now. I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Sorry.
is it like 9 o'clock at night? What is going on? So sorry if I'm disappearing into darkness. It's
No,
just
you're
I cannot
great.
see outside the window right now, but
No
hopefully it
problem.
cools things down. But yeah, Ottawa, we were filming in a conservation area called Mill of Kintail, and it was beautiful. There was actually I had no cell reception when I
Mm.
was there, and my parents came to visit, and there was this beautiful creek, and the actual front that you see of Camp Evergreen when we first arrived is an old mill that dates back
Mhm.
to
Oh,
I think like 1860 or
oh,
so, and it has a museum about basketball
oh,
inside that building itself. Apparently it's haunted too, so I was not going exploring too
oh
much in there.
no.
But
Well,
yeah, there's got a little museum about the origin of basketball because it came from Canada.
Oh,
So yeah.
wow. I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
so
Amazing.
well,
yeah, so they
that
had the old
mill.
hoops and stuff in there and like the old like
Wow.
type of basketballs with like the pure leather and
Oh,
everything. So it's very cute. Yeah,
that's
it's a beautiful
so
place.
awesome. Wow.
Well, the old mill was actually in Christmas scavenger hunt. That was one of the buildings that they used, and they had it as a town hall. And it
Oh
was
yeah.
it was on my second watch of that, where I was like, wait a second, that one looks because I love there's when you're just like all of a sudden there's just beautiful things that just stick out. You're like, that looks familiar, and then it
Hmm.
dawned on me it was that
Yeah.
movie that, and it was the town
Oh,
hall for it. So yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't realize it was a mill though, because that so cool because
It
that
used
was
to be
what I
because
was
the
trying to
river runs behind. Yeah. So it was an
yeah
old mill.
because I
that
was
is
trying to
so
figure out the placement of whether or not it was because how they were making that like the main area that you came and checked in. I was like, where's the lodge? That's why it
Yes.
all meshes
And
beautifully.
it's there that's the thing with the editing, and that's the thing with the locations that we had an amazing locations scout on that. Her name's Natalie, and I've worked with her twice before with Fireside Productions. And she was great because
Mhm.
what you see from the outside is not the interior of what we film.
Mhm.
And that's one of the magical things about filmmaking. I'm just like, that's so cool. So the
Mhm.
actual scene where I arrive at the camp was the last day of filming, and we're at a golf course. So
Mhm.
we're actually filming in the interior of a golf course. I'm like, that is so cool because when it's all stitched together, even my mom, who watched the film with me, was like, "Oh, the camp is lovely." I was like, "Mom, it's multiple locations." I feel like I'm giving away so much. It's multiple locations, but my mom should know because she came to visit me. So I was like,
Oh,
Mom,
I
you
was
came to
waiting for you to
set.
say. She's like,
You were
but I forgot to visit that
there.
over there.
Yeah, and but both my parents came, they brought my dogs and they came to the mill. So they
Oh,
would
okay.
want, and there's lots of like treks and like hikes up around. So my parents would walk my dogs when I would be doing, some scenes and everything. And so, my mom said, "Oh, it's lovely." I'm like, "Mom, you were there." It's not the same
remember.
place.
Is there a
Hello?
bridge? Is there a bridge behind the mill? Like,
Yes,
is there
that
what?
is a bridge. That leads
Um,
over to some of the trails on the other side. So yeah, we did film on that bridge as
yeah.
well.
So, Brennan, also my grown-up Christmas list.
It's the same bridge?
I know it's the same mill.
Oh my
Putting it
goodness.
together.
Wow.
Oh my
I
goodness,
wonder if they
Kevin
were the same
Jensen.
production companies. I mean, there's
Uh,
three or four
Maybe.
that work out of Ottawa, so
Oh
yeah,
wow.
oh
but we
well,
we do have so much like there's so much beautiful scenery around there.
it's
The only thing we
gorgeous
were
up there.
fighting was like
Oh,
the autumn leaves because we were
Hmm.
filming in late September. So it's the only thing we had to kind of like deal with is say,
Yeah.
don't show the red, don't show the orange sort of
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, there's so many gorgeous locations, and because Ottawa's got so much history in terms of like colonial history there,
Hmm.
there are a lot of really beautiful heritage buildings in and around. And we also have Ottawa has the Chateau Fairmont Hotel or Chateau is it Frontenac? I might be getting the name of the hotel wrong, but I filmed a Hallmark movie there in 2020, and that's
oh,
perfect. So it literally looks like a castle.
oh,
So yeah, they've
gorgeous.
got all of
So
the kind of scenery that you need. Ottawa's got it in this package. It's why it's such a good place to film.
Oh,
so it is Ottawa where they have the ice castle then too? Remember, because there's an ice castle
No,
hotel. That's
that is
not that.
Quebec, actually.
Oh,
They
okay.
have to go
okay.
way further
That's
north.
right.
We gotta go a
Same
little bit.
production
Okay.
company, actually. Same
Yeah.
production company have done those movies, but
Hmm.
that is actually in Quebec, like much further up north.
Okay.
But Ottawa gets the oh gosh, why am I the Rideau Canal, which
Mm.
is a series of locks that I believe it goes from Kingston, Ontario, stretches it hundreds of miles.
Oh
And
wow.
the Rideau Canal actually runs out and joins the Ottawa River down a series of locks and the hotel is on the one side. So the Rideau Canal, they drain it, allow it to drain down in the wintertime, and then it freezes, and then people ice skate on it. And it's probably about 3 kilometers in length, the whole ice skating
Oh,
area. Haven't
oh
done it
my.
myself. I'm too clumsy on ice skates. I learned that in the last film
Oh,
I worked on.
girls, same. I would just go and look at it. This is beautiful.
I'm like, oh,
Now
so
that I'm
like
thinking,
romantic and scenic, but no, I cannot ice skate.
That's also another favorite, I guess, more in Christmas winter movies. You know, when the girl is usually the one that's clumsy, and then
Yes, that perfect. I'm the trope for that.
the beautiful guy gets to lead her around the ice rink. And I love we love those. Kevin McGarry has done that, and oh, it just
Yeah.
always
I've
heart
had
melt.
that a couple of times. I had to do roller skating, and my character was actually supposed to be really good, pretty good at it.
mm,
So I did some training. And I was working with Steve Lund on
mm,
that
Oh,
movie, and
yes.
he's a former OHL hockey player.
mm.
So
Oh, no
he
way.
was confident, like ice wheels, he was great. And so I ended up adapting my lines to be like, don't make fun of me if I wobble, kind of thing. And I clung to him because we were filming in
Yeah.
Hamilton City Hall, and they had, it's as safe as they can make it. But for me, I'm very clumsy. It's marble floors and everything. So I just clung to poor Steve. He was so sweet. He was very nurturing to me in that circumstance. And then I just did a movie with Franco Lopresti, and we were supposed to ice skate. And I thought I would be okay at it, like I've been doing some strength training and stuff in the gym to try and strengthen my legs, things like that over the last couple years. No, I was just as pitiful on ice skates, so I just clung to him the whole time. And yeah,
That's
please
what you're
hire
supposed to
me.
do.
Please
That's
hire
what
me.
you're
I can
supposed
try and make myself look good. But
That's
yeah,
exactly what you're supposed to do, girl. Just hang on to these beautiful men. Absolutely.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Even actually, I was in New York with my dad recently, and I had an audition come through, and it was for something with Sarah Drew, and
Oh,
she's
I
amazing, and I
love
would
her.
love to work with
Yes.
her. And
Oh,
it's a particular show she's working on, but I had to be a good ice skater, and I had to take to my agent. I was like, I can't. Like,
oh.
I'm like, I can't. Like, if it's not, yeah, no. So I declined the audition itself, which I was bummed about because I really like the series, and I think Sarah Drew is just she's so special. But nah, I was like, I can't. And my agent said, okay, good to know. I was like, I'll remove it off my resume as a skill. Horse riding, I can horse ride.
Yes.
But I still have yet to be allowed to do it in a film,
Yeah.
because give me a cowboy romance, movie.
Yes.
I can horse
Please.
ride, but
Yes.
And the movie I did with Franco is I am supposed to be a horse rider in it, without giving too much away, but I wasn't allowed on the horse because
You
it's
know,
yeah.
Cute.
you need to write. Oh, so you're saying you're going to write some project. So there you go. And I have to make a correction. So the mill was used in Feeling Butterflies, the other Kevin and Kayla movie. That was
Okay.
Oh,
because I
You
was
had the
so
like,
right
yeah,
duo,
the
together.
right
It's
duo
just
for a movie. Yeah.
and sounds like the different time of year as well. Because
It
yes,
was
butterflies, we
it
don't see
was
them at Christmas.
spring.
yes. Oh,
Yes,
so
yes. I've
gorgeous.
done
Let's see.
spring films. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think I actually just had a friend message me about Sarah's series and that I needed to
Mm,
watch it. And it has been on my list to watch.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. But no, that needs to happen because we had the opportunity to meet her last year at the Hallmark
oh,
Christmas
amazing.
experience. And she embraces our Hallmark After Dark girliness and she is a
Love it.
delight to be around. So let's get that
Yeah.
working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I have a mutual actor friend that is very good friends with her, so I've heard wonderful things. And
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, if I could emulate a career, it would be along the lines of Sarah Drew for sure.
Oh.
Give me some Grey's Anatomy. I mean, come on. Medical procedural done.
Yes.
I can do a scalpel. I can hold a scalpel,
Yeah.
I think.
I I can hold a
Not on
flashlight.
ice skates.
Now, off campus is really big. Is that a genre in the movie, like in that kind of more like we call it the Hallmark After Dark, is like that kind of series? Is that something you'd be interested in pursuing too?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I would say I would assume I haven't seen it, but from what I hear, it's a little raunchier, I think,
It is raunchier,
than
yes.
Hallmark
It's
Realm.
great. It's
Oh yeah,
great.
So
no, it's not Hallmark.
yeah, I'm like, it's a
It's
little bit more,
way after
yeah,
dark.
a little bit more naughty Hallmark. Like you're on the
Yes.
naughty list, not the
Yes.
nice list with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime I get the opportunity to work, I feel very, very blessed and lucky to do so. So yeah, I would embrace any opportunity to do what I love to do and to work with amazing humans.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, let's end on because this is a movie that has cooking. So, what is your favorite? Well, number one, do you like to cook? And if you do, what is your favorite dish?
I am not much of a cook. I was spoiled because I had an amazing I have an amazing mum and
Mhm.
I was very lucky that she was a stay-at-home mum for me. So I
Mhm.
cannot match the food quality that my mum made. I do enjoy the prep side of cooking. I don't know, chopping vegetables, maybe I find it kind of therapeutic and I like to make dishes look pretty. Um itself. I have like a couple. I love soups and stews and stuff. It must be because I'm English. So I do like to cook those. So I would say like yeah, a soup would be like, roasted parsnip soup or something
Ooh.
would be a go-to for me.
Oh, you
I
can
enjoy
never go wrong.
watching shows. Like I've been like as you it's funny as you get older, I have noticed changes. So my mum used to be like she's always been an avid gardener and environmentalist and everything. And she used to force us on our days off of if we had a summer job, our days off from work, or if I was in a theatre show, it would be gardening. And I'd be like, oh, what a drag. But now it's just like I find that it's very, yeah, maybe therapeutic, like
Mhm.
nurturing flowers and plants. And I want to have like, a garden and grow my own vegetables. I've ended up becoming very homebody like that. And I feel that maybe it's going to be, yeah, the same with cooking. I know that I enjoy watching some cooking shows like Great
Mhm.
British Bake Off. It's just a delightful show to start with. It's just the beautiful humans coming together and they're all just trying to make gorgeous food. And so have started to watch shows like that. So maybe I'm
Mhm.
slowly domesticating myself. I'm not sure.
Yes. And you can never go wrong with a good soup or stew, girl. Again, meet
Hmm.
neighbors, in the
Yeah.
Yes.
wintertime. That's our friend right there. Crock pot full of soup
Hmm.
or a hot dish, which is a casserole. Oh, absolutely. All
Yes.
that comfort food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the big kind of cast iron pots, Le Creuset. I think my mum has an old set
Oh,
that
yes.
she's had for like 35, 40 years or so, and it's still, still works perfectly well. And yeah,
Mhm.
nothing beats that when it's like like it is outside. I think it's raining now, thunderstorm wise, but I'm like, oh, it'd be so cozy to have soup if it
Right.
wasn't plus
Yeah.
35 with
Yeah.
humidity. So
Right. Which
Yes.
must be about 90 degrees, I'm assuming, for the US.
Mm.
I have to translate it. I know I
I
growing
should
up,
know it too.
I
I
but
should too.
I'm like I'm so mixed because I use different I do the
Yeah.
imperial and metric and I bounce back and forth because I've grown up between England and Canada. So I understand pounds and stone,
Mm.
but and not kilograms so much. I have to always go like, okay, that's that times 2.2. But I understand kilometers because I learned to drive in Canada and I don't
Mm.
understand miles. So yeah, I flip-flop.
No.
Can't make up my mind what side of the Atlantic I'm going to be, apparently.
That's
As long
okay.
as you're on the right side of the road at any given time, you're good to go.
Yes,
Exactly.
exactly. I'm
Yes.
like, yeah, make sure drive on the right, drive on the right. Right,
Well,
yes.
it's so funny that you said that you like to do the prep because that's what I absolutely, the kitchen has never been my friend. I'm actually getting better at a few specific things, but for me, the prep work is just like so overwhelming that I'm just like, where's the snap button? And so if
Yes.
I were to, I love the British baking, like the cook-offs and stuff, but if you were to ever be like, if in a perfect world, what competition show would you maybe want to go on?
Ooh, for cooking? Cooking
Yeah.
wise?
Yeah.
I still think Great British Bake Off because
Okay.
I love, well, I don't know if she's going to be a part of it anymore. Prue Leith. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
her voice. She's got like, it always sounds like she has to kind of go and clear her throat, but I
Hmm.
love her voice. And so I'll watch Great British Bake Off. So maybe I would do that. I would go home the first week, absolutely guaranteed. Melt under like the stony watch of like Paul Hollywood. I'd be like, I'd rather go in the clown, like, horror part kind of thing than enjoy his stare. So yeah, I think I would do that because it's just so many lovely people coming together, and it's a show that's a lot like the Hallmark realm in that way that it's just uplifting TV. We watch shows, and I have favorite shows, like Succession and you know Game of Thrones and stuff like that. It's all very it pushes us in terms of like how we feel like angst or
Hmm.
horrified about shows. And I love uplifting shows. It's one of the reasons I watched Ted Lasso is
Hmm.
because all it is a feel-good show. And that's I
Yes.
feel what Hallmark brings, like that the genre, not just the Hallmark brand, but the genre itself brings to the world is just that, like, let's just have a nice time and watch something. And I think the Great British Bake Off is that. No Gordon Ramsay screaming at you or anything like that.
Right.
It's just people coming together and getting
Yeah.
to know each other and supporting and like, oh, my stuff's finished, but I'm gonna go over and help them. Like, where in the
Hmm.
world do you get to see camaraderie like that? So
Yeah.
yeah, guess that's
Well,
that's the show I would choose.
Great
I love it.
point.
Mine would be for Brennan. I don't know about you, but mine would be Worst Cooks in America, or I would really do well on Nailed It because I can't
Oh,
nail it.
yes.
Nailed it.
Let's do that one, all of us together. That would be the
Yes.
perfect.
Yes,
Yes.
I'll do your prep, Catherine, then you take over.
Perfect. See, we're a
Teamwork.
great team.
Oh, but I actually watched the documentary on Gordon Ramsay because I used to be like, how can these people want to go on these? But until I really started watching him on MasterChef Kids. And then when
Mm,
he gets to his family, he is a teddy bear. So then you
yeah.
realize, I mean, obviously he cares. He worked his behind off to get to where he is, so he cares about his reputation, but it's a whole different avenue when there's children involved because I'd be like, as a parent, I'd be like, how can I put my kid through that yelling? And then it's never like that, like he obviously
Yeah.
has that cooling point.
No,
So
there is
he's an interesting guy.
a personality he shows. Like he
Hmm.
definitely shows it's slightly performative because I've watched a documentary about him and he's had a family member be incarcerated in the
Hmm.
UK and have struggles with addiction problems. And the documentary I watched in particular was him going into the prison system and trying to teach skill sets to inmates so that when they can leave, when they have served their time and they get put back into society, they have a skill set that they can fall back on instead of perhaps reoffending. And so he's a huge advocate for that. And I respected that a lot about him when I watched it. I was like, he's nothing like the like the tyrannical, you know,
Right.
uh I don't know, frying pan wielding man that you feel is going to swat you if you get something wrong. He's not like that. And his daughter is wickedly funny as well.
Mm.
I love the jokes that she plays on him every once in a while. And yeah, he's big into Formula One as well. So I see him interviewed and he's always seems very, very gracious. So I think he's probably very, he makes himself seem like a complicated person because it's like, hang on, you're that on that TV show, but you're this and like and that and that. So yeah, he's a master chef
Yeah.
really at the different aspects of his life and his media um I guess persona.
Yes. We have there's a Hell's Kitchen here in Minneapolis, so it's so
Mm.
funny. I meet people that are visiting the area and what are you gonna do? We're going to Hell's Kitchen. I'm like, have fun.
Never been.
I've seen the one in Vegas. I've never been either, but I've
I've
seen
never
his
been either.
madon't one in Vegas. Like it's right by
Okay.
the Caesar's
Yeah.
Palace, or maybe
Oh,
it's even
sure.
part of
Yeah.
Caesar's Palace and stuff.
Yeah.
So I've walked past there and been like, I don't know. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get scared out when I eat my steak. You know,
Did they clone Gordon as he had every one of these yelling? Because it wouldn't be the same. They're there
I
for the
don't
show.
know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if that is part of the. I don't know if it's an immersive experience or if it's just food.
Oh,
You
yeah.
get
I don't know.
you get yelled at when it's just
Yeah.
part of it. Like, great.
No, I want Prue Leith. Like, give me Prue.
Yeah.
She makes
Yeah.
me feel calm.
Yeah.
You, Kat,
Oh,
for joining us. I'm so excited that we're so excited. There's so many more projects you have coming up. Is there anything
yes.
else that you want to hint to?
Yeah, so I've been very lucky this year and I've done 3 projects since January. And January is usually fairly quiet for the acting industry. So straight off January 2nd, I was flying to the UK. So I did a lovely little project. I'm not sure exactly where it's going to be distributed to, but it's that was a gorgeous project to work on in the UK. Is animals in it and it's a snowed in sort of theme. So I've got that one, not exactly sure of release dates there, and then I've done 2 projects with Up TV.
Mm.
So one is projected for this Christmas to be released, and then one I did last summer, I believe is going to be on Lifetime this coming Christmas. So either way, I'm going to haunt your screens at some point over the Christmas period. I just don't know exactly which ones are lined up.
Oh, we're
Thank
so
you.
excited. Can't wait. Can't wait to have you
Yeah.
everywhere.
Oh, thank you. And thanks for having me on and chatting. And yeah, it's always such a pleasure
Oh,
to chat with you ladies.
it's always so fun to chat with you, girl. Thank you so much. Always
Thank
such a
you.
pleasure.
So we will
Thank you
see
so
you
much.
next. We'll see you next July then. We'll just keep it with our annual yearly because then we can recap
Perfect.
and
Yes,
then also talk about what's new.
absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect. So
Oh,
52
well,
weeks to the day. Shall we set
yes,
that, ladies,
yes.
in the
Perfect.
calendar?
Let's get it on the calendar,
We'll email
2027.
Scott right now.
Perfect.
Yes.
Oh, yay.
Well, thank you, Kat.
Thank
Thank
you so
you,
much.
Kat.
Thank you.